All right, let's continue to explore reframing organizations. This is going to be the course overview and assessment component of that. So as you can see, in this particular format, we're looking at 5 lessons. Each lesson is about 4 hours long. And during the first lesson, we're going to, which is kind of what we're doing now, we're going to have this kind of overview of framing. We're going to look at reframing organizations, and then we're going to get into the structural frame. And within the course textbook, this will cover chapters 1 through 5. In lesson 2, we'll move into the human resource frame and cover chapters 6 through 8. Lesson 3, the political frame, and cover chapters 9 through 11. And then finally, in lesson 4, we'll look at the symbolic frame and cover chapters 12 through 14. The last lesson, lesson 5, we bring it all together, and that's where we'll have student-led discussions about these frames as we're going along. So let's look now at the grading that we're going to have and the assessments and evaluations within this particular course. So there are 3 components. There is a classroom participation grade worth about 25%. And that involves not only what you do in the classroom, but discussion topics, discussion participation, video tweaks, and submitting some stuff. And I cover this in greater detail in the syllabus movie, so you probably want to go back and review that. But there are a couple of different ways to influence your classroom participation grade. There's a leadership design proposal, 5 to 7 pages long, about 25% of your grade, and then a final paper which is 15 to 20 pages long, that looks at leadership and what you've learned in this particular course. I've included the grading scale associated with Georgia State, and as you can see, the grading scale has not changed. It's the same grading scale that the university uses. All right, so let's go back and look at that leadership design proposal and leadership analysis paper in greater detail. So the leadership design proposal is going to be due on lesson 3. It's due at midnight on lesson 3. It's 5 to 7 pages long, and you can structure this however you want to structure it. You can be double-spaced or single-spaced, use whatever font and margins and all of that. That really doesn't matter. Those are all decisions for you, the student, to make. What I want you to do, though, is to provide an overview of what you're going to explore, what your goals and beliefs are associated with effective leadership, how you want to explore those, and then, you know, how kind of linking that back to what you've learned within the course. So we'll do this about halfway through. At that point, we'll be moving in to the political frame. So you should know 3 of the 4 frames at this particular point, and just looking for a paper so I can make sure that you're on the right track in terms of starting to think about leadership, starting to think about what you've learned in this course, and how do you link those together. What are some kind of helpful hints on this? Well, you know, there are a couple of bullets here. I'd cover all of those bullets, and make sure you submit it early, and be professional. You know, no grammar mistakes, no English mistakes. Cover all of the material. Use real-world examples to discuss the topic and real-world experiences. And I think you'll do really well on this. All right, so let's go and now look at the final paper. It's going to be 15 to 20 pages long. It really just builds on what you've done in that initial draft. Okay, and as you're doing this, again, the technical details are up to you. You can use whatever font or spacing or margins you want to use, but be effective. You can use graphics or not use graphics. It's really all up to you. But build a leadership analysis paper focused on you and what you've learned and how all of this material relates. Well, there we go. Look at that. Less than 5 minutes, and we have covered the second video on reframing organizations. Next video, we'll start to look at the 4 frames, and we'll look at some of the lesson objectives associated and chapter objectives associated with this course.